Let's dive deeper into the action with our markets reporters, equities, bonds, currencies, commodities. Abigail, what are you watching?
Caroline, I've got bonds on my mind because we do, of course, have stocks higher here at the close. And on the week, another weekly gain, the fifth in a row up for the S&P 500. That's the longest winning streak since early March. So clearly a risk on tone, but confirming it is the much bigger sell-off that we're seeing for bonds. Take a look at the 2-year yield, the 5-year yield, and the 10-year yield. A significant backup here over the last 5 days. For the 5-year yield, the most in more than a month. For that 10-year yield, the most going back to September. And of course, that was a part of the biggest move up for yields for that 10-year yield going all the way back to 1962. In fact, Paul Ciana on Bank of America Merrill Lynch joined us for Trading Futures the other day, and he recommended shorting 5-year Treasury futures. He's been bullish on bonds, but recently there's been a trend break. But he also used the supporting data from the CFTC. These are the net positions going all the way back to 2004. Net long above the red line, net short below. He's making the case that in 2019, you have the positioning getting the closest to net long that we've seen going all the way back to 2015. Those longs getting a little bit tired, Mike. It suggests we could see bonds pull back even more.
Well, thanks, Abigail. I'm taking a look at a really nasty day in Brazilian markets today, and it's all because a judge ordered that former left-wing President Lula should be released from prison. And it caused a massive sell-off in Brazilian stocks. The EWZ, which is the iShares Brazil ETF, dropping about 3.5%. And the real, the currency, weakening more than 1.5% against the dollar. That's putting it up close to that low for the year. That seems like it's been a support for the currency since about August at about 4.19 against the dollar. Now, Brazilian law actually prevents Lula from running for politics again due to his conviction, but he's obviously still very popular and influential in the country. In fact, TV footage showed big crowds of supporters waving flags and shouting messages of support. So the concern is that his presence out of prison may bolster the left-wing political party in the country, and that would not be good for President Bolsonaro's market-friendly policies. So, Renita, especially with the situation in Chile being as volatile as it is, people are getting a little bit nervous in Brazil.
Thanks, Mike. I'm taking a look at shares of Yelp, which have rebounded from a nearly 8% drop that happened on Thursday, all on a third quarter earnings beat. Now, while revenue topped analyst estimates and while analysts were actually positive, they raised concerns about Yelp's deceleration in certain metrics, like Jeffries, for example, which said that the decelerations in app unique device growth represented the lowest growth in the company history. Now, to be clear, it did grow, but it was the lowest in the history. And Citigroup said its third quarter was in line with estimates, but the fourth quarter revenue and EBITDA margin guidance came in just below estimates. And Wedbush said that the results are still better than many investors feared. Cohen said that Yelp has a long road ahead in the business turnaround, and the company looks for more consistency in its execution.